Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna be looking at Star Wars The Black Series Professor Huyang from Ahsoka series. This is a figure that a lot of us were hoping for ever since we saw Huyang in Ahsoka trailer. It's a character that we know from the Clone Wars animated series, and now we got him in live action as well. For the most part, Hasbro does a nice job with their droid figures, so I'm hoping that it will be the same for Huyang here. First, let's take a quick look at the box. It's a standard Galaxy type packaging. Here on the back of the box we have a nice illustration of the character and a short bio. Huyang is number 7 in the Ahsoka line. On the side we have the same artwork that we saw on the back, and in the front we see the return of those window type packagings. That's enough about the box. Let's now take a closer look at the figure. When we compare the figure with how the character look in the show, we can see that the paint doesn't match. In Ahsoka, Huyang is much more metallic and silver, while the figure is more of a cream brownish color. That doesn't bother me that much, because this is how the character looks like in the Clone Wars show. Now, with all the mistakes we saw Hasbro make on a lot of these Ahsoka figures, either with missing accessories, wrong paint, or, the worst one, wrong scale, it is extremely possible that they based the design of these figures on early concept art. So it could be that earlier Huyang was supposed to have this color scheme, and then the show changed it down the line. But as I said, this is how Huyang looked in the Clone Wars, so for me it's not a big deal. The whole sculpt looks great, and with this being a droid, there are a lot of technical details, a lot of sculpted lines, and because of that, this body could really use a wash, which would bring out all of those sculpted details. Because as it is, the figure kind of looks flat and plasticky. As you can see, it all looks kind of soft, and even though the face is really well sculpted, you can see a lot of these technical details on the side of the head, the so-called cheeks. There is even a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there are kind of damage scratches. See it? And it's not like that on the other side. But as I said, a lot of these buttons and lines, and here on the upper part of the head as well, and again some damage marks. Yeah, I mean, this being an old droid, it should have damages on it, right? But as I wanted to say, with all of these lines and battle damage details and everything, a little bit of wash would do wonders for this figure. It would bring out all of those sculpted details, and the figure would look even better. Wouldn't have that plasticky, toyish look as it does as is. But the eyes do look good. They are kind of shiny. The neck also has technical details, wires, dark gray color that goes around the neck. The chest looks good as well, also has some dings and scratches on it. Here in the back we can see the port and the part of his backpack, the accessory that we'll take a closer look in a minute. The arms also look good. We have these metallic elbows, the gauntlets, the lower arms that have some more buttons and sculpted technical details on them. Hands also look good, and they gave him two like grabbing hands, but they almost look like trigger finger hands, both of them, but the fingers are sculpted together. They are all connected. We have another plate here, exposed wires all around his lower part of the body, and you can see that they even painted some of the wires. So a lot of them are black, but there are some gray, white and red ones as well, and that's great. It's a nice attention to detail, brings just a little bit more life to the character. This skirt piece is of a soft plastic, and so it goes out of the way, doesn't hinder the articulation. It is connected to the belt, so it's all one sculpted piece. It imitates that kind of leather type of material, and that looks really good. We have a lot of nicely sculpted details, small pouches and the buckle that is painted silver, and then all of these other things that are hanging from his belt. It could use a bit more paint because we have buttons and those small details that are not painted, As we saw from some other recent figures, Hasbro tends to do that from time to time. Sometimes they do paint those details and sometimes they don't. I'm not sure what makes which decision, but it is what it is. All in all, the sculpt is really nice. Same goes for the legs, nice sculpting, silver metallic parts, and then the armored brownish parts. The knees have these dark silver details on them, some more technical details here in the back of the lower legs, and then the feet also look good. Here we can see the screws on the toes. It looks like there could be a toe hinge, but obviously there is not. This is a Black Series figure. So again, a whole new sculpt. I think that they really did a great job in terms of design for our Professor Huyang here. Let's now take a look at his accessories. First, he comes with this holographic lightsaber hilt for training. It's a shame that there is no blade to recreate that scene when he is training Sabine, but either way, this is still a nice accessory to have for our Professor Huyang. We can see that the sculpt is nice and there is even a little bit of paint on it, so it's not just a blank white piece of plastic, you know. They painted silver part here and then dark silver here at the bottom, and yeah, it does look really nice. We also get his data pad that again has some nice paint on it. It's all metallic, reflective, shiny, as you can see, and it's not as clean as you would probably want, but still, for Black Series standards, I think it's really good. And you can see that they painted both sides, even here on the side. They really did a great work on this accessory. It could have been just a blank piece of plastic, but they decided to put in a bit more effort and painted some of these details. So yeah, it does look really good. And then we also get his backpack, and this is a great accessory. It's a part of his body practically, so I'm guessing that you'll always have this connected to the figure, but looking at it as it is, it's a nice sculpt with some nice details, and the great thing is that of course these arms are articulated. You can extend them like this, and we have few points of articulation here, and then here at the wrists, so it has some nice movement. The so-called hands are not articulated. They move just in the wrist, but you won't be able to make them hold any type of accessory. I mean, maybe they could hold this data pad, but they won't be able to hold any lightsaber. So again, you won't be able to recreate that scene when Huyang is training Sabine. All in all, it's a great looking accessory, and I'm happy that they included this with our Professor Huyang. Let's now take a look at his articulation. The head is on a double ball joint, and that gives us a nice, really nice range of movement. He can look down this much, up this much, he can tilt side to side, and the head can rotate 360. There is no butterfly joint, but the arms rotate 360. Arms move out this much. We have a single bend in the elbow that gives us 90 degrees, and the elbow swivels. The hands have this in and out hinge, but the wrist also articulates, it swivels, so you can turn the wrist like this, and then you get the up and down movement. So it's great that they decided to do that. We have a cut down here in the torso, and that gives us movement side to side, a little bit of tilt. He crunches forward this much, back this much. There is no tie cut, but we still have a little bit of swivel in the hips. Legs move out this much, they move forward this much, back this much. We have single bend in the knee, and the knee swivels. Feet move forward this much, back this much. We have a nice ankle pivot and pec holes at the bottom of his feet. We can attach his backpack just to see how it looks. This larger part goes up, and you just align it and you push it in like this, and now the backpack is connected. And so this way you can articulate his extra arms, and we have our professor looking like this. Let's now compare Huyang with some other figures. Here he is with the Black Series Ahsoka Tano, with soft goods poncho from Island Journey Rey, and the Black Series Sabine Wren. Here he is with the Black Series Hera Syndulla and the Black Series Chopper. Here he is with the Black Series Zeb and the Black Series Ezra Bridger Lothal version. Here he is with the Black Series Merrick and the Black Series HK-87 Assassin Droid. And finally, here he is with the Black Series Morgan Elsbeth and the Black Series Grand Admiral Thrawn. So finally, I would say that this is a great looking figure. It's a character that probably a lot of us wanted to see in the line, but maybe that would never happen if he didn't translate into live action. Yeah, the paint is wrong if it should represent the look from Ahsoka, but nevertheless, it's a far more forgiving than if the figure turned out a completely wrong scale. Huyang comes with some nice accessories that are essential for him, the sculpt does look good, it would benefit from a little bit of wash, but all in all the figure turned out really good. So for me, it's a win. I'm happy with this release, and now I would love to hear you guys. What are your thoughts about this figure? Do you plan on getting it or not? Let me know down in the comments. Stay tuned for a posing video for Professor Huyang, and in the meantime, check out my other videos. There are a lot of them on the channel. I hope you'll find something entertaining. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon. You guys are the best. Your support means a lot to me because you help me to continue making these reviews and posing videos. If there is anyone else out there who can support the channel, check out my Patreon page. Link is down in the description. Your support will be truly appreciated. If not, either way, thank you all for watching because that helps as well. Now I'll get back to work and I'll see ya in the next video.